live. Hey, Queenie.
Hey, Doc, how are ya?
I am fine. How are you?
Fantastic. It looks like we've got a special guest in the room.
Yes, we do. Hey, Joanie, how are you today? Are you keeping warm? I know you're south of us. We got snow to start our day. How about you?
Really?
Yes.
Girls.
It,
Well,
it,
in Nashville, Tennessee, it made 70 degrees today.
Oh my gosh, we're jealous.
But they say it's going to freeze tonight, and I don't think there's going to be snow,
no
but
snow.
yeah, but we're
Yeah.
going to have 50s tomorrow. But you guys actually got snow?
Oh
We got
yeah.
about an inch for us, about an inch, 2 inches, something like that. But it melted super fast. But it's cold. It's in the 20s. I'm gonna say I've got to check my. I don't even know what temperature it is right now. But in
Let's
Queenie,
just
over
say,
by where you live,
yeah.
yeah,
Let's just say
it's
cold.
just cold.
So what we need from you today, Joni, is tell us something that's gonna warm us up.
There you go.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, I do get fired up and excited about helping people feel better in their bodies, in these earth suits, in these miraculous machines than they ever imagined. And when we're fueling it right, then we can be warm, be charged, be excited about whatever the day holds for us. So yeah, that's truly what excites me.
That's pretty cool. Well, and I'm sidetracking a little bit, but you and I have known each other not for long, but I'm learning more about you and some of your posts too on Facebook. You're a runner, so
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. That keeps you warm.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
for sure. And how does what your business is doing? How does all of that help the running piece? Does that influence vice versa?
Well, it does, but I should probably back up a little bit because the company that I partner with is Isogenics, and it is dense superfood. It's an amazing system. But how in the world did I get into that? Well, back up a few years. I have been a runner, Doc, for over 40 years.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
So here's what I say. The first 10 years was vanity because I gained the freshman 15 in college. The second 10 years was sanity because we have 5 children. And
That's a good reason to run.
and the last I mean, seriously, there would be days where one of my kids would come up and say, Mama, when was the last time you had a good run? And I would think and say, oh, probably 3 days ago. Go for a good run. Go for a good run. I would go and I would come back so clear and refreshed and energized. But anyway, and then the last 20 plus years has truly been serenity. It is a part truly of who I am, even though it started out very much love hate. Well, I hit the menopausal years, that change of life, um 10 plus years ago, and nothing in my lifestyle or exercise or any of that had changed. The only thing that changed was the clock, and you girls know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
um, and I started gaining this extra weight. It's like, well, where are you coming from? And after, it was so gradual, but on a 5'2" frame, after 3 years and 19 pounds, I thought, how do I stop this pattern? I couldn't blame it on a broken ankle. I couldn't run for 3 months, so I gained weight. I couldn't blame it on anything and I was stumped. My clothes were screaming, but I was stumped with this pattern because I did the math and I thought, if this goes on for another 3 years, I'll be up 38 pounds. Just call it 40 pounds. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I woke up that one day. Maybe you girls have had that moment with something in life where you go, today's the day. No
Yep.
more. We're going to nip this. Well, that happened several years ago for me. And after several years of trying to nip it, I threw in the towel, honestly. And I really felt like, okay, Joanie, count your blessings. You're not terminal. So you're a little pudgy. Get over it and get on with life. And that's really where I was. I really was at that place, and I was pouty that I was pouty, because that's not who I am. That is not Joanie. In walks my 19-year-old from college 2 hours away talking about this. Well, you better believe I wasn't going to jump on that bandwagon. I had just finished my arduous journey of fail, fail, fail. Oh, well, get on with life. And so that's how Isogenics even came into my life. I watched her for a number of months, and hoping that she wasn't getting ripped off. But, because she's 19, and so you just let them. It was her money, not
You have to let it go. Yep.
right. Let it go.
Yep.
And after I saw 3 months, 4 months of, she just needed energy. She didn't gain the freshman 15, and she was now a sophomore in nursing school. And she just needed energy, was tired of spending money at Starbucks and everything else she was doing right, because she was a former gymnast. But this changed everything for her, and I could not deny what I saw in my daughter. So when she cornered me 4 months in and said, "It's time, Mom, just put it in your body," I honestly thought, y'all, that sounds so cheesy. Like it's going to do magic. But here was my thought. You have those moments where you have a 3-minute conversation with yourself in 3 seconds, and out comes your answer. So all this in my head, I'm going, it's not going to help me. I can't deny it's helping her. But I need to figure out a way to say, "You go, girl," and cheer her on, because she was still eating fork and knife food. She had come off some meds that she had been on. She was more vibrant than I had seen for 5 years. I had my daughter back. So how could I fault this? So I just responded by saying, this is what I honestly said. I said, "Okay, babe, here's the deal. I'll try this for 3 months, and I'm not going to tell anybody about it." And I just randomly picked 3 months, because I figured if I said 1 month, it would be like putting a little Band-Aid. Y'all, I really do. Don't you love the y'all coming out from Nashville? I really did want to put wind in her sails, but I honestly did not think it would help me at all. And 2 weeks in, my gut health was better. My energy was better. I didn't know I had an energy issue. My sleep was better. That always can improve. But my mental focus, I didn't know I was foggy. And it's like when you turn on the defrost in your car and you go, "Oh, I should have done that 10 minutes ago."
Yeah.
I didn't know I was foggy, and all of a sudden I was clear. And that was 2 weeks in. It wasn't a scale issue at that point. It was, I don't know what this stuff is, but my body loves it. Why would I ever stop putting this in my body? And that was 7.5 years ago.
Wow.
So then I started realizing that when I jump into the question about running, on my longer runs, because I've done, I don't know how many half marathons, I've done 3 marathons. I'm no longer doing those because I'm in my 60s, and I want to be running when I'm in my 80s.
Yeah.
So, but I noticed that I still do long runs. I just don't do that long. And I noticed that my recovery time after my long runs, I wasn't as sore. And at first, I didn't even recognize that it was probably the nutrition and getting rid of the toxins. And then I realized that's the only thing I've changed. So that's it. Now I just have so much fun. I wake up every day on a mission to serve people with better health than they ever imagined, an income if they want to talk like I do, so that whatever their calling and passion is in life, the raised gardens, the Kanga water, the networking, the whatever your passions are, that you can soar in those because you feel your best. Body, mind, and spirit are all connected. And that just became my conviction. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I will open my mouth when you tell me to open my mouth.
That's a beautiful testimony. And just like you mentioned, Joanie, Doc teaches us all the time in our Doc and Queenie community about the soul, body, spirit connection. And what you said, I actually wrote it down because I think this is super cool. Vanity, sanity, serenity. And the stages that we go through for whatever the topic is that we're doing, you just literally encapsulated that whole thing. I think this is fantastic. And isn't it cool that you have been able to bless other people now, all because your daughter came home with a wow, mom, and you went, yeah, right.
And I will thank you, Kathy, and that's so encouraging to hear. But do you know that she actually on her 20th birthday withdrew from nursing school because she wants to be a self-sustaining missionary, and she was now making more with isogenics just because her roommates and everybody were like, what are you doing, what are you doing? Well then, and I've told Doc this, I think I've shared with both of you. Well then, she is so passionate about health and wellness. After she withdrew from nursing school and still sharing isogenics and just educating people, she got 2 naturopathic degrees. So she has her doctorate in naturopathy, started her own LLC, and then at 23 years old felt like the Lord was saying, you have a knowledge gap. And she went back to nursing school on the fast track, and now she works in an ICU as an RN. She's married to a PA. They do want to do medical missions, but she feels like, okay, I have the isogenics piece that can be self-sustaining and very proactive in helping people here with their health. I have the naturopath, the holistic piece in case I'm in a third world country, and I have the Western medicine because there is a time and a place for that. And I'm just so proud of her and so grateful that she said, Mom, it's time. So that's the rest of the story for her. Isn't that amazing?
It's very cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow. Wow.
So I am in the right now anyway, just for any listeners or people who say, you know, it's springtime, summer's right around the corner, I want to feel great. I've been working with several friends on our team, just doing 11-day resets, which gives people a taste of it, no pun intended, but gives people an idea of what this can really launch and do for your metabolism and your body. And so anyway, that's something fun that we've been doing over and over and over again, because when people finish their 11 days, they go, oh, let's do it again, you know, because it's really meant to be a lifestyle. And yet you don't know until, like my daughter said, you just put it in your body.
So is this, you know, for the people that have never really heard about it, is this smoothies and supplements, or what exactly are we talking about as far as the nutritional part?
Well, remember, I don't know if I mentioned, but I used to think of so many health and wellness companies as supplements, and my fork and knife food was my fuel. And I have had such a paradigm shift, because now what sets isogenics apart is that it really is that dense fuel. It's like putting high octane fuel in your Ferrari and cleaning your filters and getting a tune-up once a week, because it involves nourished fasting. It's just so easy, but that's what sets it apart. I don't see it as a supplement. I see it as dense nutrition and fuel. And my fork and knife foods are now my supplements, because I love to eat. I'm going to eat every day. And so it's not just you're drinking your calories, but there are, in answer to your question, Doc, there are several components to it that work synergistically. And for people who know what that means, this impacts this, so that you have a greater outcome. And it would take too long for me to talk about the science behind it, but it's basically drinks and shakes, you know, 2 juices and the unpasteurized shakes that have nothing artificial, no artificial sweetener, color, flavor, no GMOs, no soy, no gluten. We even have a vegan line. And so you're just incorporating that in your everyday life while you're making healthy choices with your other foods. You would think that that's why I was so skeptical. I thought, well, how can that make that big a difference? I'm already eating healthy and doing all the right things. That's why I was so frustrated, is because I was doing all the right things. And this is what was happening to my body. And I can't deny the changes, because all I did was start putting this in my body. But it's not a bunch of pills you take. It's really food and nourishment. It's not fork and knife food, but it's dense nutrition and it tastes wonderful. If there's anybody out there that's sort of loves froyo or Frosties or Blizzards, that's what I feel like I get to have every day. And there's no sugar crash.
Oh, wow.
How
That's
awesome
kinda
is
nice.
that? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is super awesome. Now, Joni, when you were having this transformation with your body, not only feeling better, but less brain fog, your friends were probably actually noticing the change in you. So how did you transfer that into a answer the question and then encourage them to give it a try? How did that work?
Thanks for asking, Queenie, but honestly, at first I was dumbfounded because I didn't think anybody would notice the difference. It's
Oh,
not
wow.
like I had 50 pounds to lose, but I did, like I already said, I noticed the difference in my own daughter, and she had nothing to lose because this isn't a diet. And so I really stumbled over my words when friends were initially asking me. As a matter of fact, the very first friend was a friend from church. We had brunch together. You'll love this, at a restaurant called the Puffy Muffin. It's a great place. They have wonderful quiche. It's a great tea room kind of place. So we were having brunch together. I walk in and she says, you look amazing. What are you doing? You're doing something, aren't you? And I honestly thought, she can't tell. Those days where you feel like it's a good hair day or it's a cute outfit day. And I still remember exactly what I had on because I thought it must be a cute outfit. Remember this one? And I just thanked her and blew her off and started asking her about her kids. And she looks at me across the table and she goes, you're doing something and I want to know what it is. And so I told her and she said, okay, I'm going to be home at 4:00 this afternoon. You call me. I want to get started. That was 7 years ago, March. She has never stopped thanking me, never stopped using the products. And that's when I realized, and I may have already said this, but my conscience started to bother me about that time because I thought, if I have friends whose health issues are more serious than mine, or they are struggling far more than I was, and I have a possible solution for them, am I so selfish that I won't at least say, hey, Queenie, this may not be for you at all, but this is what it's done for me. You got to check it out. And that's what I started doing. And I love that, not that there's anything wrong with sales. I don't see myself as selling something because I don't distribute or sell product. I educate people so they can make an informed decision. And then I plug them into the resources so that they have the tools they need and are a part of our community. Because the community of Isogenics is really, aside from the church, it's unlike anything I've ever seen because everyone cheers everyone else on, much like we do here.
Yeah.
So that's how I started transitioning. And I would just say, hey, when I would hear pain points, or when people would compliment me, I have a neighbor across the street. She has complimented me for 5 years. She finally 2 months ago started. And every time she complimented me, I'd say, well, Karen, you know what I'm going to tell you the reason is. Because nothing else has changed. My running is still the same. My exercise, this is the only thing that's changed. And yet the transformation and how I feel. So I just educate people and say, hey, check it out. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. I want you to do whatever's best for you. And I'm glad you want to know more. So
That is really cool. So how, we're going to be reposting this. You'll have this to repost, replay. How can people get a hold of you if they are interested, even, even in just talking or your 11-day reset or whatever with Isogenics? How can they get a hold of you?
Probably the best and easiest way, because of this platform, is just Facebook. Friend me on Facebook and send me a message. And then we can go from there, where I can share my email address or phone number or whatnot, hop on a Zoom call or whatnot. But friend me on Facebook and send me a message. And yeah.
All right.
So exciting, honestly. Is there, my head is exploding because of your neighbor has seen you for 5 years and just now 2 months ago decided, yeah, maybe I'll try it. And I always love that to try word, because I'm like, hello, the proof is in the diet pudding, you guys. What is the deal? And it really is amazing, the transformation in you, and probably emotionally, even more than anything else, just because of the confidence factor. Is there anything that we haven't discussed today that you would like our listeners to hear from you, Joanie?
Really, if I could leave them with anything, it is invest in your health. It doesn't have to be isogenics. Yes, I firmly believe in it, hands down, or I wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
But definitely invest in your health. It is far more economical to invest in your health than to pay for being sick. And if you have family and friends that love you and need and want you around, take care of yourself. Do what you can, and we all know the right things to do. COVID has been a huge wake up call for so many people. But we've had a global health crisis decades before COVID. And so that would be what I would say is I'm so grateful for this earth suit, is what I like to call it. And I take to heart that I'm to be a steward of it. So whatever you choose to do, ongoing in your lifestyle, diet, exercise. When I say diet, I don't mean depriving, I mean nourishment, exercise, spiritual, emotional, physical. All of those are just so vital to invest in you. So that's what I would want people to be left with.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
All
thank
right.
you so much, girls.
Thank you.
This afternoon together. It has
Yes.
been a joy.
We're just trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
We'll be down, and just give us your address. Just instant message. I'll have Queenie drive. It might take a couple of days. If I was driving, it might be a few hours.
I know what that means. Oh my gosh. Joanie, we have loved having you with us today.
Yes.
Doc, I hate to say it, but it's time for you to take
I
us.
know. I that's what I was starting to round the corner on.
Thank you, girl.
But thank you for sharing with everyone, and we're thrilled to have you on today. And thank you, everyone. Don't forget to check out Doc and Queenie Facebook Live on Mondays, or we have our Bible trivia Thursday nights at 7. And thank you, Joanie, for sharing your passion and your story. And we hope to talk to and see you soon. So take care. We'll see you later.
Bye. Thank you, Joanie.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, Joanie. Bye, Queenie.
Bye, Doc.